Ladies and gentlemen, after lots of speculation, after lots of questioning, where's franchise? Where's franchise? It's right here. We're about to get into it. I just loaded in the franchise. We're not using the Packers, okay? It's my favorite team, so when you load in the franchise, this is the first team that pops up. We're not using Green Bay. Spoiler alert. There's all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen. I've had a vote in the discussion page. I've been looking at the views of the videos and stuff, trying to come together with like a real, like, final answer. We did start off with 9 teams to consider when I was doing the Madden 18 discussion videos, and I narrowed it down to 3 via social media, and it was between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Seattle Seahawks. All 3 have intriguing storylines, but I want to be different. You know, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are already doing the Colts, that are already doing the Jets. I've seen someone doing Tampa Bay, I believe. I mean, there's just a lot of different directions here on YouTube, and I just want to be different. So to me, it came down to the Cardinals, who were the most voted on my discussion page, and the Seahawks, who had the most fanfare, who, like, a lot of people who did vote for it wanted to see so badly, whereas the Cardinals, I feel like it was more of a popular vote because a couple of people had already voted for it, and, you know, they just followed the crowd. So, with that being said, both great options, but I've already made up my mind. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. The storylines are simple, man. The Legion of Boom no longer exists. Richard Sherman was released, and then a few days after was picked up by the San Francisco 49ers. Cam Chancellor nearly a month ago, maybe even 5 weeks ago, retired via Instagram. Earl Thomas throughout this entire offseason, starting back all the way in February after the Super Bowl, said extend my contract or trade me. So what we're going to do in this franchise is try to give the man his contract, and if we can't agree, we're going to trade him at the deadline. And then you got guys like Russell Wilson. Pete Carroll finally developed a brain cell, or developed the many brain cells, and decided to build the offense around Russell Wilson. So they went out in the first round, got him Rashad Penny. They brought in a big body receiver like Brandon Marshall. Now they just need to fix up that offensive line and get another tight end after Jimmy Graham left to go to Green Bay. You could even improve on the receiving core a bit. At running back, you have a lot of different guys there. But now let's talk about the defense. So obviously at corner, you need that lockdown corner. You need a superstar at that corner position. And with Cam Chancellor out, maybe someone can step in. I don't know. We'll see. But we're just going to go ahead and get underway right now, and we're just going to make the few moves that we need to make to keep it realistic, and that is going to be that. Actually, no, I'm not going to create an owner. That's my fault. I'm going to use the active owner. I thought about creating an owner, but honestly, I was trying to think of players who realistically I could use. We're going to keep it on all-pro simulation until we can find like some good sliders or something. Pre-existing injuries are off. I'm going to leave it on 6 minutes for now for the preseason, just so we can experiment a little bit more. And we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to make our few moves that we need to make to keep it realistic with the actual Seahawks team. So here we are, you know, as we're loading in. No big deal. We just got a couple of moves that we need to make. And then the preseason game should be after this video. This is more of just an introduction video. As you see Russell Wilson right here, he has the honorable captain badge. I believe Doug Baldwin doesn't have one, or does he? He doesn't have one, but I'm going to make him a captain. 2 captains for each side of the ball. Doug Baldwin's going to be a captain. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do our realistic things right here. So the first minor move is going to be Malik McDowell. He was released after being on the team for, this is being his 2nd season. I believe he failed his physical or something. We're going to go ahead and release him because in real life he is no longer a member of this team. And yes, I'm aware that we will be in a penalty in terms of cap. It's going to be the same thing with Cam Chancellor. So these are just 2 contracts in real life that the Seahawks have to swallow. So what makes us any different here in franchise? Malik McDowell is no longer a part of the team, which means we will be a little bit thin at DT, but not really. And then this one honestly hurts. Cam Chancellor. First of all, we're going to remove the captain badge. That's where it starts. And then now we're going to edit player because I don't want Cam Chancellor being picked up as a free agent because in real life he's retired. So we're going to go ahead and like completely derail his ratings. Actually, I'm going to let him keep his speed and stuff. Like he can keep that, but like awareness and play rec we're definitely going to bring down just because we have to. You know, honestly, this kind of sucks, man. I didn't want to do this, you know. But when it comes to franchise, you need to keep it realistic, and I feel like that's the best way to play franchise. I've been watching guys like Mr. Hurricane play franchise, Franchise Nation himself, Moonlight Swami. So I've been watching these guys play for a long time on franchise, and they've kind of inspired me a little bit, even like when I wasn't into YouTube, you know, and it was just me playing for the hell of it. I'm gonna keep his tackling and hit power the same. But yeah, like when it was you know, before I even got into YouTube, right? Before I even started watching YouTube on a regular basis, I was playing Madden franchise. I've been doing franchise since like Madden 08, Madden 09-ish. That's just how it is, man. So we get the special teams right here. Cam Chancellor, a 14 overall punter. We need to edit one more thing on Cam Chancellor to make sure he doesn't get signed at all. And we're just going to make him 40 years old. A 40-year-old punter. Save the changes. Hopefully it doesn't get signed. If some team is dumb enough to sign a 14-year-old or a 14 overall punter, I'm sorry, okay? I did what I could. We're going to go ahead and release him. Now, yes, we are going to be taking on a cap hit. You know, if you do the math, you know, 4.79, aka 4.8 minus 7.5, that's a negative. That's a negative number, okay? We know that. In real life, this is what the Seahawks are going through, so we need to go through it too. Cam Chancellor is no longer here. He is going to be missed. Now, we can take a look at this defense. Now, I believe Bobby Wagner has the captain badge. Yes, he does. Does Earl Thomas have a captain badge? No, he doesn't, and I'm not going to put it on him just yet because he could be out the door depending on contract negotiations. So one man I am going to put the captain badge on. It's going to be a questionable one, and it's going to be Frank Clark. I said we're going to have two captains for each side of the football, and Frank Clark is going to be one of them. It's going to be Frank Clark and Bobby Wagner. I know it's a little controversial not to put it on Earl Thomas, but in my opinion, it's got to be Frank Clark and Bobby Wagner. I thought about KJ Wright. By the way, here's Shaquem Griffin, ladies and gentlemen. 72 overall. He's a beast. And I'm so glad that he got drafted on the team as his brother. And he got drafted in general. So that's going to be it basically for the video. We did the two moves that are realistic and in line to what the Seahawks actually did. We released Malik McDowell. And we got rid of Cam Chancellor by having to change him to a punter and nerf his overall really, really bad. So I hate it having to do that, but it's realistic, man. That's the whole point of a realistic franchise, is keeping the realism there and keeping your audience entertained by doing realistic things. So here are my plans, right? Here are my plans for franchise, okay? Hopefully the 6-minute quarter thing works. I expect the games to be no longer than like 35 minutes. So hopefully it's watchable for people. Now, when it comes to the off-season, I am live streaming every single off-season, so hopefully you guys are there for that. I'm going to need all the support I can get, because if you guys don't watch the live stream for the off-season, you're going to be completely lost for next season. So that's all I got to say. Obviously, we do look to upgrade the offensive line, tight end. Fullback's not really a big need, but, you know, it's a need. Probably adding more depth at DT and on the D-line in general. We want another good corner. Another safety, maybe some linebacker help. It's going to be an interesting series, man. So hopefully you guys do enjoy. And yes, this is the big reveal. We're going to be using the Seattle Seahawks. Enjoy. Like the video. Leave some feedback down below.